nation. No donation, no salvation.
And remember, respect is everything.
And we are back. I'm sorry I didn't upload anything yesterday. I just kind of needed a break from things, and I was kind of in the middle of processing some things going on in my personal life. Very serious things. Let's just start with the first car. The 1984 Toyota MR2. You know what's weird about this car? It really reminds me of a Pontiac Fiero. I wouldn't be surprised if they used a similar chassis because, I mean, here's a Pontiac Fiero I dug out of my Hollywood car chest because it made one appearance in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, if you remember that movie. Yeah, I don't know. Very similar cars. Let's see, what's the next car? Since we already opened a Matchbox car, let's just keep the train with Matchbox going. 1941 Cadillac Series 62 convertible coupe. You know what's funny? Didn't the most recent RC from that new show that's supposed to be coming out turn into a Cadillac? I think that's funny, because you know what the funny thing is? Not only does it look like a Cadillac, it looks like that one car, at least paint job wise, from Burnout Paradise, the Hunter Manhattan. Very nice, very shiny paint. Man, that is gorgeous. Man, they don't make cars like that anymore. Sorry if the lighting is a little different. I'm messing with the lighting setup because, I'll be honest, every time I record a video, because the lights I had before were way brighter, and it really was hurting my eyes. So hopefully these are just as good, but they're a little softer. So hopefully the quality is a little better here. Chevy Caprice Classic Police Car. Looks like a 90s Caprice, which is fine. I like those, you know, 90s big body cars. Now that is a nice car. I mean, I don't like that the back wheel's covered, but I mean, that is a nice Caprice. I'm definitely putting that with the cop cars. For a 64 Austin Mini Cooper. Huh. So I guess this is what would happen if RC joined the Italian job. Okay, it's a cute little car. That's neat. We'll get to this one in a minute. I have a funny story regarding that car. Push and Puller. So is this a fictional car? Huh. That's weird. Normally Hot Wheels does all the fictional cars, but they're both owned by the same people now. Interesting. Wait, which side's the front? Does the car have like two steering wheels? Oh my god, it's a universal car. That's ridiculous. But hilarious. Okay, that's a 2018 Dodge Charger in plum purple. That's a very nice shade of metallic purple. I like the taillights. Really good detail there. Good car. I like that one. This one's an interesting story. Now, I actually bought two of these. So I have... Here, let's go ahead and open it anyway, though. Just because... Why not? Oh, man, that is a nice car. Now, the reason I bought two of these is because my goal is to paint this one gold. Now, the reason I want to paint this one gold is because this car really resembles the Dodge Polara. Now, my plan in painting this gold is I'm trying to remake the car the Golden Eagle. If you're not familiar with the Golden Eagle, it's basically like the real-life version of Christine. I mean, the car didn't come alive and go around killing people, but basically any people that came around the car with malicious intention or even just random bystanders, for some reason, that particular car was so cursed, it killed more than 14 people, not including people near them. So, quite an interesting car, but I'm definitely going to try and recreate one because, or the only one, because, I don't know, I just thought that car had an interesting backstory, because if I remember correctly, wasn't that the car that inspired Christine, the Plymouth Fury from the book and movie? Or at least supposedly. I mean, I could be wrong, but that is a nice car regardless, but it's a shame that the real one has such a horrific history surrounding it. This is a 1971 Lamborghini Mayora. Now, for the longest time, only Matchbox was making this particular car. There was one other Hot Wheels release, and it was a metallic kind of gold version of this car. But here it is for the first time as a normal release. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and get the car open. Now, I'm actually happy that they released it in orange, because this technically is a movie car. Because this particular one, if you've ever seen the original version of the movie The Italian Job, there was an orange Lamborghini Mayora at the start of the movie, and unfortunately it got destroyed. I think it was like by a bulldozer or something, some big construction vehicle, right at the beginning of the movie, which, not gonna lie, it was pretty sad to see it get destroyed, but when that movie came out, this car was brand new, but, that isn't saying much since there's only 761 of these cars that were ever made. Anyway, while I have it out, let's compare it to the Matchbox version. I'm wondering if it's the same mold, but with Hot Wheels, like, wheels on it instead. I don't think it is. I think it might be a new mold, which, it's weird because I don't know why they would make two separate molds for the same car for two brands that are owned by the same company. And then, since I brought it up earlier, here's that super gold version, which was one of those like key cars. It's like one of those scan cars from that old mobile game. I never played it because it didn't even work on my device. Obviously, I prefer this car in yellow, but I'm glad to have an orange one because then I can put it with the movie car collection. Also, while we're talking the Lamborghini Mayora, I was at a pharmacy a few days ago and found this really cool pullback car of a Lamborghini Mayor in a nice bright yellow. Whatever, I'd have to wind it up more, but anyway, that's irrelevant. And yes, I did buy two of them because I have a feeling this is going to be a very high demand car. I'm not going to customize this one, but it's always nice to have an extra one to mess around with. Next is the Hummer EV. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really like electric cars. It's just not for me because I feel there's a lot of flaws with the technology. I won't hate people for liking it. That's fine. I get it. Technology has to advance, but I don't know. I still feel like there's some major improvements we need to make before we can put electric cars into full effect, because I still feel there's a lot of flaws with the infrastructure. But, it's a cool looking vehicle, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's kind of weird that an off-road vehicle would be electric, because, you'd have to waterproof the crap out of it. I prefer combustion engines, but it's only a matter of time before the federal government repos all our vehicles anyway. So I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Next, we have a 68 El Camino. Now, what's crazy is ever since the original release, where it had the more regular flat back, they've only been re-releasing this version with this weird super motor in the back. Here's the original version, or at least the first one I had, which was this black and brown one. Or it's like a golden brown, I don't know, it's interesting. But yeah, you never see them with this rear end anymore. I have another one in orange with a black cover, but ever since then we've only been getting this one. One fun thing you can do with these, though, is I made a custom one for a character in one of my stories, because I like to make models to go with a lot of my writing projects. Here's a custom one I made, where it has these back seats that are clearly... So yeah, this interior is from another car entirely. I don't remember where I got it from, but because that engine leaves a massive gap, I decided to make this custom version with back seats. It's from a writing project. It's one of my stories. There's one of my characters drives this vehicle. She's a mother, and she needed a four-door vehicle, but instead of getting a four-door vehicle, she just cut the back out and put two more seats. The only problem is if it rains, you're a little out of luck there. Anyway, that was just something random I thought I'd throw in just because I thought it was funny. But yeah, nice colors. I like the sort of lowrider pinstriping. I would have preferred the regular back, but I'm probably not going to do much with this anyway. A Volvo 850 Estate. Now, believe it or not, my dad had a very similar Volvo like this one in black. It was a newer model, but... unfortunately, it no longer works, but we did actually have this Volvo as well, but it was gold. So it's kind of cool that I finally have, because my family has owned a lot of Volvos, because ignoring the stigma around them, they're actually really reliable cars if you can get them in good shape. But yeah, so my mother has a white one. My dad had a black one, but he has a metallic gray one now, and we had this particular model back in the day in gold, so I pretty much have a color for every version that my family happened to own, which is cool. I like this car. I like that it's very tuned with the custom street bumper. Speaking of Chevelles, here's another cast we'd never see. I thought we'd never see again. The 70s Chevelle Ss Wagon with a very interesting red paint job. Very true to the actual vehicle. Again, it's another casting that I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm glad they brought it back. But yeah, that is a pretty wagon. I like the red. Nice little vehicle there. All right, what's next? This really super modified 62 Corvette Gasser. So I like that they're doing more Gasser cars now, because I think Gassers are cool. Really interesting color scheme. I like the bronze, kind of brownish color. Very kind of chocolatey color. Very nice. I like the chrome. All right, next we have the... I can't pronounce that. So it turns out this is not a real car, but it is based on a real car. It's based on one of the Alpine rally cars, and I'm so glad to see this car in new colors. So let's get this one opened up. Now that's a nice car. Ooh, what is that? That's a dust bunny. That is a nice car. I like that they made it look like it has pop-up headlights. It's a very cool... whoa, that's interesting. It's got like clear tail lights or something. That's trippy looking. Or am I missing a piece? I mean, even if I am, that's cool looking. That's interesting. Anyway, there's I like the rear louvers too. I always thought those were cool. That's a nice car. I like that one. It kind of looks like a Pantera, if you are familiar with that car. 47 Chevy Fleetline. So another cool car. I really like cars from this era. It's in a nice matte black. Some pretty cool looking rims. I like the yellow interior. I like the yellow and black. It's very good colors. I like that the base is chrome though, so at least the grille is untouched. So it's cool. Wish they'd paint the headlights, but it's whatever. All right, now if you've been following the channel long enough, you know why this is a very special car to me. Yep, 1970 Dodge Challenger RT. Yeah, this one's going to be an instant favorite for me because. If you know me, I was a very huge fan of the character Cliff Jumper from the Transformers Prime series. And the 1970 Dodge Challenger is one of my dream cars because it's appeared in so many classic movies like Vanishing Point and, you know, Running on Empty and stuff like that. Oh man, that is... and yes, I love that it's red. I couldn't have asked for a better match in heaven. We got black trim, the red... Couldn't have gone any better. Finally glad to have a red one finally, because I have so many diecast models of Challengers and not a single red one outside of the one Hot Wheels car that I have, but it's not very detailed. And let me explain what I mean by like I couldn't find a red one. Because, you know, before this car, I had this one, which was a 73 Challenger, but I'm not really a fan of the 73. I mean, I like the 73 Challenger, but I like the front end on this one more. And then before that, you know, I had this car, which was nice. I mean, it was red. It's what I wanted. But there was just too many stripes on it, and it threw me off. This next car is a sick joke. It's not even a Challenger. It's a Cuda. And before you guys ask why this is so important to me to have a Challenger in red, you know, Cliff Jumper was one of my favorite Transformers from Transformers Prime. And, you know, having a toy version of that car in addition to the Transformers character, because I do have the figure, but seriously, like the amount of times it took me to get a red Challenger is insulting. Seriously, I was able to find this car in every other color, and it was just not happening. No matter how hard I try, getting a red one was just out of the question. And to make it even worse, they made even more red Cudas and wouldn't even acknowledge the... Okay, sorry about that. I was going off on a million tangents, and the only other Challenger I could find was this blue one, and I'm not gonna lie, I would have rather had this one in red and then this one in blue, so just swap them, but you know what? A red Challenger is a red Challenger, and I'm not gonna argue with that. And yes, I did buy two of them. Why not? Plus, this one's damaged because it's got a big scrape there on the trim, so this is definitely gonna be the beater one. Let's look at these Greenlight cars. So here's RoboCop's '86 Ford Taurus. I already had one, but I had to get another one because, you know, I love the box art, and I love this car because I love the RoboCop movies. Really good movies. I know a lot of people didn't like the sequels, but I don't care. I always thought those movies were awesome. They had really good action, really good acting, just a really good, lovable cast. Anyway, here's the Ford Taurus. Really cool. If I could just get a third one, then I'll be set for life. Because I really like this car. You know, RoboCop definitely left an impression on me as a child. Because, you know, I really love those movies. The next car we are going to look at is a 66 Ford Thunderbird from Thelma and Louise. I'll be honest, I only saw that movie once, didn't really care for it, and then I only stayed for the Thunderbird anyway. Until they drove it off a cliff, and then that was pretty much the end of the movie. Oh man, that Thunderbird, that is a nice car. Oh man, I would give anything to have this as a hardtop, but you know what, the convertible is nice too. Does that hood open? Let's find out. It does open. Okay, that's nice. Alright, next we got some Autoworld cars to look at. Now, let's see what we got here. 1973 Plymouth Roadrunner. Now, this is actually one of my favorite years of the Roadrunner. It's a really nice car. I do actually have one other one, but it's the Zingers version. So it's kind of like more hot rodded out in like a metallic color. And then I also have a red one of those, so that's cool. Oh, I'm knocking over all the cars. Oh man, I love this ugly shade of green. I actually really, you know, it's funny, back in the day, people would rant about how hideous these colors were. But honestly, I love it because it's hideous on such a beautiful car. Oh man, the Plymouth Roadrunner, man, what a car. That's a nice car. I love that. Here's another Johnny Lightning. The 1970 Dodge Coronet Super Bee. Now, this is actually my first model of this car, because the only other one I have is an older Johnny Lightning, but it's dressed up like a gasser car, and it's not quite the same. This one's more realistically proportioned. Oh man, I love the black and the red. It's very slick looking. Does that hood open? It does open, just very, very faintly, but I'm not going to force it. Man, this is a cool year. I love the weird split grille. I really like it. It's very interesting for its time. 1975 Cadillac Eldorado. 1975, that's the same year as my AMC Matador. I love these big body Cadillacs. These things are, I mean, it's a two-door car, but it's the size of a boat, and I love it. Don't want to scrape the paint. Oh man, that is a nice detailed engine. Very pretty. Love that car. And let's look at our last car. The Lincoln Continental Mark V, which I called Mark IV last time because I'm an idiot. This is a 1978. In person, it's such a weird color. It's like a really dark green, almost black, but I love the color. Very nice color. Anyway, just thought we'd look at all those cars. And you all have a good one.
Hallelujah! Another soul saved!